You ever meet those people who act like positive thinking is the solution to everything? Like, just manifest it. Just stay positive. Just smile, and the universe will reward you. Oh wow, thank you, Karen. So when I'm broke, heartbroken, and 5 seconds away from a breakdown, I'll just slap on a fake smile and hope the universe Venmos me rent money. Brilliant. You cracked life. The truth is, positive thinking has become the go-to drug for people who don't want to face reality. And just like any drug, it feels amazing at first, until it doesn't. Until you realize your life is still the same mess, except now you feel guilty for not being happy about it. This toxic positivity epidemic has turned actual emotional intelligence into bumper sticker advice. You know what's worse than being depressed? Being depressed and having someone tell you, good vibes only. Positive thinking was supposed to be empowering. Instead, it's become a permission slip for delusion. Can't pay your bills? Just think abundance. Stuck in a dead-end job? Just visualize success. Sick? Think healing thoughts and align your chakras. Look, optimism has its place. But using it to bypass reality is like duct taping a flat tire and expecting to win a race. You're not enlightened. You're just ignoring your check engine light and calling it spiritual growth. The real danger of all this is that it sounds so nice on the surface. It feels good. It's comforting. But comfort isn't always your friend. Sometimes it's the thing keeping you stuck. See, the moment you start believing that your thoughts alone are the key to success, you stop doing the actual work. You stop solving problems. Because why fix your finances when you can just think about wealth? Why go to therapy when you can just journal about gratitude? Why take responsibility when you can just trust the process? And the worst part is, when it doesn't work, you don't blame the nonsense advice. You blame yourself. You must have not been positive enough. You must have lowered your vibration. That's how this trap works. It keeps you chasing something that looks like hope, but functions like denial. And let's be real, most of this toxic positivity isn't even for you. It's for the people around you. People don't want to deal with your pain. They want your sadness to be easy, digestible, and preferably Instagrammable. So you learn to shrink it down, slap a quote on it, and pretend you're fine. Meanwhile, your brain is screaming, but no one hears it because you're too busy trying to be grateful. This is how you end up emotionally constipated, full of suppressed anger, anxiety, and pain, while smiling through it like you're in a toothpaste commercial. And don't get me started on the self-help industry. These people are making millions selling you positivity like it's crack. Buy this journal. Repeat these affirmations. Wake up at 5 a.m. and scream, I am success into the mirror. Meanwhile, they're flying private jets to their third divorce. Look, I'm all for mindset. I'm all for motivation. But there's a difference between building mental toughness and just slapping glitter on garbage. And too many people are doing the latter. Your life isn't going to change because you repeated a mantra. It's going to change because you did the work, showed up when it sucked, and made hard decisions. But that's not sexy. That doesn't sell. What sells is the fantasy. Now let's talk about what this actually does to your brain. Constant positive thinking actually increases stress. Yeah, the thing it's supposed to cure. Because when you suppress negative emotions long enough, they don't go away. They marinate. They grow teeth. And then one day you're yelling at a barista for forgetting oat milk. Not because of oat milk, but because your emotional backlog finally exploded. Neuroscience has shown that trying to force positive thoughts can backfire. You end up obsessing more about the negative because your brain doesn't like being lied to. It knows when you're faking it. And that dissonance, that's what leads to burnout, disconnection, and emotional exhaustion. But sure, keep telling yourself everything happens for a reason. Let's see how that works when your life is on fire. Now here's the wild part. Positivity isn't even required for success. Some of the most successful people on earth are pessimists. They just know how to act in spite of their doubts. They prepare for the worst while working toward the best. That's what real resilience looks like. Not pretending everything's okay, but being willing to face what's not and still move forward. That's where the growth happens. That's where grit lives. Not in some vision board fantasy, but in the grit and grind of real life. And let's not forget how this mindset gets weaponized. Ever had someone use just stay positive to shut you down? Like you're not allowed to express frustration because it might lower the vibe. Toxic positivity turns real human emotion into a problem to be fixed instead of a signal to be heard. Your anger? Too negative. Your sadness? You're being dramatic. Your fear? Don't manifest bad energy. Imagine telling someone with a broken leg to stop limping, and just think strong thoughts. That's how ridiculous it sounds. But because emotional pain isn't visible, people think they get to judge it. Spoiler alert, they don't. You want real strength? Sit with your pain. Let it teach you. Let it hurt. Let it guide you to what needs to change. Positivity isn't about denying the dark. It's about knowing the light exists despite it. And that only comes when you stop pretending and start confronting. When you stop escaping and start engaging. But that's hard. That takes effort. And effort doesn't look good on Instagram. So we settle for fake smiles and motivational noise instead of doing the uncomfortable inner work. And look, I get it. Sometimes we just need a little hope. A little encouragement. That's fine. But it has to be grounded. Positive thinking is a tool, not a religion. It's a mental posture, not a guarantee. It's the difference between saying, I can handle this, and saying, nothing bad will ever happen. One is preparation. The other is delusion. One gets you moving. The other keeps you stuck. So ask yourself, are you using positivity to move forward? Or are you using it to stay exactly where you are, while feeling like you're growing? Because here's the truth they don't tell you. Life is messy. Growth is messy. And healing? Yeah, that's the messiest of all. Sometimes you'll cry. Sometimes you'll break. Sometimes you'll feel like quitting. And that's not a sign that you're failing. That's a sign that you're trying. And the goal isn't to avoid the lows. It's to get better at riding them. To stop judging yourself for being human. To stop confusing temporary emotions with permanent identity. So yeah, stay strong. Stay grounded. But above all, stay real.